Hey guys, if you're enjoying the content that I'm making, please click that subscribe button. Also remember to click that bell button and make sure to tick that box to send all notifications so you don't miss out on any videos. With that in mind, let's get on with the video. What's up guys, welcome to Munchkins Gaming, where we take your gaming to the next level. This is Munchkins logging in to bring you another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video. And welcome to my video guide for the Ultimate Brothers Chaos fight. We got a lot of things to go through, so let's start this video straight away. Of course, we'll start this off with the brothers' abilities, weaknesses, resistances, and of course the elements that they can absorb. Let's start off with the weakness. It is weak to the water element and has a ×2 resistance to magic attacks. It can also absorb the earth element. As for its abilities, it has brotherly love, which is its recast ability. This is a group earth melee brave attack, which also increases its brave. This applies Gaia's power to the field and restores the brothers brave each turn. This also lowers the enemy's turn rate. This grants the Sign of Virtue buff to itself, which is a frame buff. Next is its Brave attack, which is a melee brave attack. Next is Fragment, which is its melee HP attack. Rock Toss, which is a earth range brave attack, which can also delay the target by 1 turn. Next is Adamantine Blast, which recovers itself from its break status and will do a melee brave plus HP attack. Next up, it has Pointed Columns, which is a group earth range brave attack, which also inflicts weight. Now this is a frame debuff that lowers some of your stats overall. Next is Joint Dance, which is a melee brave attack that can inflict an attack down debuff and grants itself an attack up, a defense up, and initial brave up to itself. Next, a couple of texts will show, depending on the percentage of the boss's HP. Brotherly Bonds Deepen basically raises his attack, defense, speed, and max brave, and Brotherly Bonds Deepen further just further raises their attack, defense, speed, and max brave. They are both immune to the luck debuff, and even if they are fused, they are still immune to the luck debuff. Now let's take a look at some general tips and strategies that I have implemented or noticed during my fight with the brothers. The first one is going to be paralysis is going to be your best friend, since you cannot actually delay the boss when they are fused together, so there's no way you can actually delay them, and there's no point using silence on them as well, as most of their attacks, if not all, I do believe all of their attacks are both melee or range attacks. Next is pay attention to the turn order. Specifically at the start of the fight, you do want the bigger brother to attack you first before the little brother. This is of course if you are not using Warrior of Light, because if you are using Warrior of Light, then you should be fine with the turn order at the start, whatever the case may be, as long as you use the shields at your first turn with Warrior of Light. Next up is Bring a Dispeller. This is very important and is key to actually, clearing this fight. So if you have Balthier, if you have Yuffie, these are both good options to bring. Next, bring Cloud, Tifa, or Agrias for your support. Cloud is obviously there for a little bit of paralysis, even very good DPS, and Tifa is more for DPS. Agrias is a little bit of a mixed bag, of course, with her paralysis and of course slightly good DPS as well. Now MVP characters that you may want to consider bringing are going to be Warrior of Light, Faris, Balthier, Yuffie, Agrias, Tifa, Bartz, and of course Cloud. As for your healers plus Brave Battery options, you do have an option between Charlotta, Rosa, Rem, Kate Sith, and of course Ishtola. Do note that Ishtola is using earth-based attacks when she's using stone, so you should not use this because the boss will just basically absorb this element, and you just end up giving them Brave. And of course, a majority of these healers are all magic based, so do be careful that they are not going to be doing as much DPS as they would normally do. And finally, for the summon, you do have an option between all the level 30 summons that we have had since the release of the Ultimate Fights. So that's Ifrit, Shiva, Ramuh, and of course Leviathan, to take advantage of the boss's weakness to the water element. Okay, so now let's take a look at some possible party compositions. Let's take a look at the video that we got first, which is Warrior of Light, Balthier, and Y'shtola with a cloud support and Shiva for the summon. Basically, Warrior of Light is here to protect you from getting broken, and of course making the boss's Brave higher than you can actually shave off. This really relies on your HP attack plus and plus plus at the start of the fight. Next is Balthier is of course here to steal the buffs and of course dispel them as well. Basically the same thing. Y'shtola is here initially just for Brave Battery, and of course if you do need it, you can also revive your team. Now, I have experienced that if you actually have a death in your party and use Y'shtola's revive, chances are, if only one of your party member dies and you revive that party member, chances are that you will still make it to that score requirement. So don't give up if one of your characters ends up dying. Just make sure that you can actually revive them, and of course reduce the amount of damage that everyone else is taking. Now the next team I have for you guys is Warrior of Light, Cloud, and Faris with a Cloud support and Shiva for the summon. Basically, Warrior of Light again is here to protect everyone from getting broken, double Cloud for double paralysis, and Faris for dispel debuff, and of course and her EX giving Brave Battery to the entire team. This is very nice, seeing as you don't really have a lot of support other than Warrior of Light Shield. Now the next team I have for you guys here is once again going to be Warrior of Light with Yuffie and Tifa this time around with a Cloud support and Ramuh for the summon. Again, Warrior of Light is here to protect everyone from getting broken. Yuffie is to steal or stop the brothers from getting the Signs of Virtue buff, because this is a very important buff that you actually need to stop the brothers from getting. Basically, once you see that the bar is full, either use Yuffie's EX weapon to stop them from actually getting Brave, gaining the Brave, and of course getting that buff, which is the key to actually making this party composition work. Tifa is just here as your main DPS to try and shave off as much Brave as she can. Now the last party composition I have for you guys is quite an interesting one, and I was looking through the internet for interesting party compositions because I myself was running out of ideas of party composition that actually doesn't revolve around having Warrior of Light. Most of the time, most of my clears actually have been with Warrior of Light, and I was struggling to actually clear this without Warrior of Light. It is quite possible I got close to a few, but I just couldn't do it, and I was really getting quite frustrated. So I went around and had a look around the internet, and this is what I found. This is by Levi Xx. I will link the strategy and the video down below, and I hope you guys go watch this video. It is very interesting how he pulled this off with Zidane, Charlotta, and Y'shtola with a Charlotta support and Ifrit for the summon. All I can say really is props to Levi Xx for actually thinking of this strategy. It really piqued my interest when I was scrolling down and I'm like, hey, this is kind of different. I wasn't really expecting anything like that, so I do hope that you guys go and watch this video again, and leave a like and let him know that Monch has sent you there. Anyway guys, we're finally towards the end of this video, and of course, I'll give you guys my final thoughts on this fight. Now, like I mentioned earlier, I was actually struggling to find a party composition that doesn't really revolve around having Warrior of Light. So, I would say this has been quite a struggle for me, and I did find this fight a lot difficult, and more difficult than Dimensions and Floor 6 if I can make that comparison, because they did release at the same time. Now, comparing this to other Chaos fights that we've had, I would say this is even on par with Barrett's Lost Chapter. I struggled more here than Barrett's Lost Chapter, to be completely honest. And Barrett's Lost Chapter required me getting Tifa's EX eventually to actually, clear that a much better pace. So I'd say this is on top, up there, at least for me personally, and definitely the hardest ultimate fight that we've had, comparing to Ifrit, Shiva, Ramu, and Leviathan. I believe this is harder than any of those four. So that's my complete opinion on this one. So that means this is the end of the video. Please remember to click like and subscribe if you haven't already. We have reached that 1500 subscriber goal for this month, but having extra doesn't really hurt, does it? So if you're not a subscriber just yet, please click that subscribe button, and of course leave a like on this video. Leaving a like on this video, I should say, is going to help with the YouTube algorithm. Make sure that this video gets spread around a little bit more. We are going to try to aim for a new goal once the next month comes around, for at least subscriber count, and I do hope you help me reach that goal. Make sure to follow me on Twitter and on Facebook. I am there at Munchkins Gaming, and make sure to leave a comment down below which team you used in order to beat this fight. Let me know down there, okay? This is Munchkins logging off, and I'll see you guys in the next level.